Okay, I am now fired up about another topic. And it's on communication. And like, I was just listening to, well, the start of a program, and it's like, oh, well, I mean, it was talking about how middle schoolers want to be heard and to be, like, um, and to go over what was heard and to really listen to them and go, hey, and take them seriously and honestly. It's like, that's what we all want. I mean, God wants us to communicate. He wants us to not be on our phones and whatever. I mean, if we were actually honest with each other and there for one another and not hypocritical and critical of each other and going and belittling each other and joking, going, oh, well, that's your problem. And it's like, no, that is, if we could just be honest with each other and truly give a crap about one another, how much would this world be different? I mean, and that's what heaven is. It's a place where people can be honest with each other, a place where we can be truthful and honest and care about each other. It's a place where people step up for each other. It's a place where God himself will be there and love us. I mean, how many of us want to be loved, truly loved by the people, and not being criticized, not being, hey, well, that's too bad for you. I mean, we make fun of each other and do stupid things, and we are a lot of times masked. I mean, in my own life, I was told about masking my true feelings at Montreat College. It was on how we put on masks, and it's because of how society and other things and the way lives go. We don't want to be honest with each other because it hurts too much, or people are so super critical of each other, and they go, oh, well, you're nuts, or you need to go to a mental institution, or you need or you got problems, instead of saying, hey, I've got these same problems and I'm dealing with this stuff, or I know this X, Y, and Z. It's like, we're supposed to be different. We're supposed to, and especially if you're God's chosen people, you're supposed to be welcoming with open arms. You're supposed to be there for each other. We're not supposed to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on some psychotherapy crap or some drug that will dull us to the point where we don't really exist. I have been on those drugs and they don't help. They just dull your senses to the point where you just accept reality. And you just kind of go along with life. And that's not what God wants. God wants us to enjoy life. He wants us to look around us and to interact with each other. And now we're using phones and these other things. We don't truly interact. If you claim that being on Facebook and and Snapchat and WhatsApp and all these others are a good way of communication, they're not. We are so critical of each other, and I have found in my own life that I am more judgmental and more vocal online than I am in person. When I'm actually with a person, I am empathetic. I listen to them. I'm there for them. And that's what, I mean, I wish the phones would explode. I wish we would have no other choice but to go to people's houses and check in on them, because I think we would find a lot of hurting people. I think everyone is hurting. It's just in their own way, with finances, with how life has gone. I mean, there's no one on this earth that I think that their life has been perfect. There have been many changes I'm sure that God has had to make because people didn't do what he originally planned for them, or what we originally signed up for. But as God's people, I mean, we're supposed to be there for one another. And I mean, if I could imagine a land or a place that truly I wanted to be in, I would say an amazing place kind of like this, but like not out of control, because if you look over there, there's tons of thousands of houses. But I would want to truly interact with people and not have them be critical. I would want them to be supportive. I'd want them to say, hey, I mean, give me a shoulder to cry on, and I'm sorry, the bullshit where it's like, oh, well, you can't cry if you're a man, you gotta withhold your feelings. That's flipping BS. If anyone tells you that, they can just like go away, because that's not what God says. He wants you to show your feelings. He wants you to, I mean, yeah, there are times when we should withhold like our anger and our wrath on people and be nice to them, because it says to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and to love your neighbor, which means not to covet. It means not to be jealous. It means not to murder. It means, so in other words, all the 10 Commandments can be covered in that one sentence: love your neighbor. It's like you don't covet someone's neighbor, you don't murder someone's neighbor, you don't steal from them. You're there to help them. You're there for them. You're there to help them and in their stuff. You get together on parties and you have backyard barbecues and you welcome all your neighbors and you say, hey, let's go have fun and talk about life. And I mean, and I know that I've worn masks many times just because I've had too many reactions where when I was honest with people, that I've had bad reactions with people, and I shouldn't have had them. I've had people super critical of me, and sadly, they've been of my own family. I've had people super critical to the point where they didn't listen to me, and I basically, in order to make it through life, I shut down. I just went along with whatever BS that they did. And a lot of times we as humans, we manipulate the situations. We take advantage of each other, and instead of helping them and saying, hey, this is a situation where I can help them and be there for them, we manipulate them. We use them to our own advantage, and we run them over, and that's wrong. But I think we all want to be heard. We all want to communicate, and the worst way to do it, in my opinion, is texting and all this other BS, because you can't hear the vocal things that are going on with someone's voice. I don't know how many times I have texted or said something online or by text and someone has misinterpreted it, especially women. There have been times when where I was just trying to be honest with someone and they took it like I was bashing them. And that's the reason why God gave us a voice, and we were supposed to pick up the phone and talk to them. But I guess we dread the conversations or where it's going to go. I don't know. But God wants his people to be, to not be vengeful, to not be, he wants us to be there for one another. He wants us to welcome them, and he wants us to support each other. He wants us to give food and housing and resources to each other. It's like, if you have more than enough, then you need to be sharing it with your fellow neighbors. Our neighbors are hurting right now. There are very few people right now that are not financially hurting, that don't have enough food on the table, or don't have enough food, or don't have enough money to pay the bills. And we need to look beyond ourselves and quit doing this crap. However, I have heard that when God's hand comes completely off, that we will turn on each other, that friends will become enemies. But I do know that during this last part of time that we were not supposed to take advantage of each other. But the sad thing is we allow idols like cars and houses and money. Money corrupts the crap out of people. And we want our money so much that we would do anything or some of us would do anything to get it. And that shouldn't be the way. We should actually be giving our money out. And when you retire, what you should be doing is volunteering. What you should be doing is using that money and pumping it back into society, into people's lives, and using your knowledge and your abilities, and blogging or getting out there on videos and say, hey, this is what I've learned in my life. And how many times, if people would just communicate with one another, how many different things could we solve? Instead, we're bickering and complaining about each other and going against each other. That it's like, it's nuts. We as a society could be so much better. And we need to be using our time more wisely. And God created us to be individuals that get along with each other and help each other out, not ones that. So heaven is, you're not going to joke or jest because that's against the Bible. You're not going to manipulate and do the wrong thing. You're going to be there and support each other and bend over backwards for people. And we don't take advantage of situations like here. This is someone's garbage from their private residence, and we clearly have these cans marked, but that's a whole nother topic. So I would say reach out to people, call them on the phone instead of texting them. Texting gets so misinterpreted, it's not even funny. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to the next time we talk.